He wandered into a remote canyon and disappeared. 5 days later, he was still alive, injured, exhausted, and trapped, with no way out. Hi everyone, welcome back to Trail and Error. As always, it's me, Ryan. On February 20th, 2026, a 26-year-old man was finally rescued after being missing for 5 days in the remote and extremely rugged Illinois River Valley. The Illinois River Valley is known for its steep, rocky terrain, narrow canyons, and dense vegetation. Even for experienced hikers and rafters, it's considered one of the more difficult and remote areas in southern Oregon. Cell service is non-existent in much of the canyon, and at some point during his trip, the man sustained injuries to his hands and feet. These injuries made it very difficult for him to hike or climb out of the steep, rocky terrain. Because he had no cell service, he was unable to call for help. However, he was eventually reported missing and search efforts began. But the difficult landscape made locating him a major challenge. But here's what that rescue looked like. The Illinois River Valley is one of the most rugged and remote terrain in southern Oregon. It's a deep, narrow canyon with steep rock walls, dense vegetation, and very few access points. Even experienced search teams have a hard time moving through the area on foot. On the 5th day, a private party finally spotted the man in a particularly difficult and steep section of the canyon near Greenwall Rapids. A Coast Guard MH-65 Dolphin helicopter from Air Station North Bend was dispatched to the scene. You'll see them flying through the tight, narrow canyon before positioning themselves above the stranded man. Because of how steep and inaccessible the area was, a traditional ground rescue wasn't practical. The crew lowered a rescue swimmer down to the man, and after securing him in the rescue basket, both the rescuer and the injured hiker were hoisted up into the helicopter. He was then flown to a hospital for evaluation and treatment. This story is a strong reminder of how dangerous remote canyon country can be, especially when you have no way to call for help. The Illinois River Valley is beautiful, but also very unforgiving. Steep terrain, loose rocks, and dense vegetation can turn a simple trip into a serious situation very quickly if something goes wrong. This is becoming a recurring theme in these videos though, people getting into trouble in these remote areas with no cell service. This man survived for 5 days with injuries, which shows how critical it is to tell somebody exactly where you're going and when you plan on returning. In areas like this, where cell service is non-existent, carrying a satellite communicator or a personal locator beacon can literally be the difference between life and death. As always, a big thanks to the U.S. Coast Guard and all the search teams involved in this rescue. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and let me know in the comments. What's the longest you've ever been lost or in trouble while out in the backcountry? I'd like to hear about it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.